Today on Point Choices, we're trying to remember our username and password so we can log into our TikTok accounts and access the viral recipe Smashburger Tacos. People were probably making this 75 years ago, but you know how TikTok goes. Nothing existed until 2018. This recipe is simple but so delicious. We're using a simple griddle you can purchase for like 30 bucks, making some candied bacon, and we're mixing up an amazing burger sauce to put on top. Oh, and don't forget, lots and lots of cheese. Re-up on that toilet paper because this shit is going down. And that's how you hype a recipe. Starting out with our burger sauce, I've got half a cup of mayo, followed by 1/4 of a cup of ketchup, 2 teaspoons of sweet pickle relish, 2 teaspoons of granulated sugar, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of Dijon mustard, half a teaspoon of vinegar-based hot sauce like Frank's, half a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce, the juice of half a lemon, mix and then see if we need to adjust anything. I ended up adding a pinch of salt and about a teaspoon of smoked paprika just to give it some extra smoky flavor since we're doing this indoors and not out on the grill. Now, if you hate certain condiments like ketchup or mayo or relish and you're thinking of omitting it from this, don't. When it all comes together, it creates its own flavor, so give it a try. It goes great on everything and you won't taste that one thing that you hate. Next, I've got a couple strips of bacon here that we're going to turn into chipotle candied bacon. It's really easy. Just hit both sides of the bacon with some brown sugar and a good sprinkling of chipotle powder. Into a 400-degree oven it goes for about 15 to 20 minutes. Keep an eye on it so that sugar doesn't burn, and you're just going to cook it until it's done. Now we just need to prep a few vegetables. I've got some Roma tomatoes here that I'm going to remove the seeds and dice up into tiny squares like it was a pico de gallo. We'll also take a shallot or two and dice them up finely. Red onion is perfectly fine here. I just, of course, love me some shallot and I always have them on hand. For the burgers, I'm using a higher fat content ground beef than I normally do because I want there to be a burst of flavor, and that's what that fat is going to do. Normally I use 80-20, but this is probably like 73-27 or something like that. We definitely don't want a lean meat here. So I've got 2 pounds of it that I'm going to add some Worcestershire sauce to. Maybe this is about 3 tablespoons worth, but I'm really eyeballing it here. Then I'm going in with a palm full of the Cattleman's Grill California Tri-Tip seasoning. You know I'm a Cattleman's Grill man, I guess that's how you would call it. And that's really it. You could just stick with salt and pepper, but I like to jazz it up. Give it a mix, and then we're forming these into 3-ounce balls. Now it's time to cook. So you can totally do this in a cast iron pan. In fact, I would actually say do that if you don't have a griddle like the big ones, the big metal ones that go outside. But I'm using this griddle because it's just easier to demonstrate for the camera. My griddle only gets up to 450 degrees, but with a cast iron over high heat, you can get that baby up to 600 easy, and that's perfect for really getting a good crust on these burgers. To my griddle, I've added a little vegetable oil. However, if you are doing this on, say, a cast iron pan, you probably want to use something of a higher smoke point like an avocado oil. Again, my griddle is limited on how high it can get, so I'm just going plain old vegetable oil here, and I'm going to spread it with my spatula. Then I'm going to take one of those 3-ounce balls and place a piece of parchment paper on top to keep it from sticking to my bacon press. I smash down with a good amount of force and then leave the press on there. Allowing maximum contact with the surface, this is going to really help with that Maillard reaction, which creates that crust. If you don't have a bacon press, just something wide and heavy, even the bottom of a pan or just 2 spatulas put together. While that sits, I'm adding a Mexican blend of cheese to the grill. You can use any blend of cheeses that you want or just go with plain cheddar, and I'm going to put it in a thin layer just as wide as my tortilla. This is going to melt and become the outer portion of our shell. After about 2 minutes, lift the bacon press, remove the parchment paper, flip your burger over and sprinkle some cheese on it, then place your tortilla on top and return the bacon press on top of that. That cheese is going to kind of help glue that tortilla to the burger. When the cheese has started to brown on the edges, I ran my spatula underneath to loosen it up, remove the bacon press from the tortilla and flip right onto the cheese. Give it a second or two to kind of melt into that bubbling mess of goodness, and then you can scoop it right up off the griddle and onto a plate to serve. That easy. Top with our candied bacon, some tomatoes, our diced shallot, our burger sauce, and of course some shredded lettuce. Eat and shake your head at how damn good this is and how easy it is to make, and how that's probably the worst news ever. Invite your friends over because there's going to be a lot to make, and I'm telling you, one fills you up pretty good. Hey, this is Poor Choices Kitchen. We're here almost weekly. Sometimes we take a week off. We have a Patreon linked down in the description. $1 a month is all we ask for. It helps pay for these recipes during these here inflated times. And tell me how your Smashburger comes out. I know a lot of people have been doing these. I'm interested in seeing the different techniques. I know there's like putting the raw meat on a tortilla, but I didn't really want to do that because I want to get good searing on both sides. And also tell me your cheese blends, your sauces, give up all the secrets. I want to know, so I can claim it as my own. But until next time, we'll see you all. Oh, and as far as my poor choices goes, I just had some tequila. I figure if I'm making something with the word taco in it, it's got to be some tequila. Keeping it simple here, folks. But until next time, we'll see you. Peace.